My name is Arif Khan. I'm a Product Marketing Group Director at Cadence, a PCI SIG member company. I'm here to talk about PCIe and how it relates to our data-centric world. So data has a very important part to play in our lives, whether we realize it or not. The internet is basically based on data. There's close to 4 billion emails sent a day, about 500 million tweets that go out every single day. Everything from smartwatches to connected cars sends data out, whether we realize it or not. And all of this data is processed somewhere. There's a vast amount of data that circulates throughout the internet. There's a lot of computational technologies behind this. And amongst others, PCI Express is a very important technology that plays a role in this data-centric world of ours. Let's look at how much data there is to build on the point I was just talking about. By the year 2025, IDC estimates that 175 zettabytes of data, that's 2 to the humongous power, that's 2 times 10 to the power of 19, I believe. That's the amount of data that's going to be stored somewhere in the data sphere. And all of this data has to be stored and acted upon. And that data requires a lot of computation and processing and bandwidth to operate on. And PCI basically doubles, PCI SIG is committed to doubling the bandwidth every 3 years to keep up with this kind of technology. And that's the role that PCI plays in processing data. And that's really why PCI Express is so important to processing data in this new environment. PCI is really critical where these mission-critical applications like PCI 6.0, especially with the latest advances that we have, will help us meet the demand that comes from applications such as AI, machine learning, high-performance computing, advanced modeling, simulation, and all of these applications that rely on this data and the need for this additional bandwidth. The PCI 6.0 spec is incredibly complex. It builds on the legacy of everything that preceded it up to PCI 5.0 and adds the new layer of PAM4 and the increased bandwidth. And IP providers are amongst the earliest who work on the spec, who bring solutions for PCI 6.0 to the market in various process nodes with various applications targeted for multiple applications. And that's to make sure that standards-based solutions are available for all kinds of applications and customers. And these solutions are taken to compliance workshops. We take part in the various protocol bodies to make sure that we understand the spec and we work according to the latest versions of the specification, helping accelerate the adoption of this spec in time for these solutions to come to market. So PCI 6.0 is really the way forward. It's basically going to help us meet this increased need for data and bandwidth that's really driving a lot of what's happening in technology today. IP is one of the ways to get standards-based solutions out there. The PCI 6 standard bodies is the place where IP providers and other member companies have the best and brightest meeting and working on these specs, sharing these ideas so that we can bring these solutions in time for adoption to the market. And we encourage everyone to go visit PCISIG.com to learn more about the spec and what the member companies have been doing for it.